channel. I'm going to be doing an unboxing here. Flat rate box. So this box came from a friend of mine, I believe. I hate to ruin such a beautiful box, but I'm going to. So let's just see what's in this thing. This is always interesting to see what people send me. And inside the box is a bag. So we've gone from box to bag. Luckily, I always have a handy pair of scissors with me, so I'm not going to show you the other side because I believe it has names and addresses. So I'll just say this is from my friend Tim, and Tim knows who he is, and I'll send him a link to this particular video. But inside here is another box, and in this box, let me turn this around because I think it's upside down, and there's probably something in here. So let's have a look. Let's open this box up. And it looks like an old pocket watch with a crystal just kind of sitting there and all just thrown in there. So I got to tell you, Tim, you should have wrapped it up with bubble wrap and stuff like that to get this thing in decent condition. So let's have a look at the watch itself. All right, this little watch is a pocket watch. It's from my friend Tim, and it comes from Regina H. Downing, Moosomin, Saskatchewan. Moosomin, Saskatchewan? I guess so. Moosomin. So a few things here. First of all, it's missing some hands. It has an hour hand on here. It has a seconds hand, thank God, because those ones are hard to find. It did have a crystal on it. Here's the crystal here, and it kind of fell off in the moving, which may or may not be an issue putting this thing back. Don't know yet, but we'll have to have a look at that. And what else about this watch? Let's see if I can get the back open. Well, surprise, surprise. The back does not open on this watch. So you can see there's no opening for the back at all, which means that this watch could be a swing over movement. It could just swing, the movement could just swing up and out of the way. So I do need to remove the bezel from this watch. It's likely hasn't been removed in 1,000 years, so it's going to take some effort probably to actually remove this bezel. It's not a snap out bezel, I doubt it. So it's going to be a job and a half to kind of get a grip on this thing to remove the bezel. So the first thing I'm going to do with this watch though is pull out the crown if I can and set the hour hand to the top and just grab my hand levers, and I'm just going to take the hour hand off the watch just to protect it. So we'll do that as a minimum and just reach back and get my amazing piece of watch protection sheet. Just do the edge here like that and the other edge here, and then straight up like that. That is the hour hand of the watch. And the second hand I can remove using smaller levers like this. And this is the fourth wheel of the watch, so this has to go straight up. There's usually not a lot of real estate between this hand and the face. There we go. And that is out. So I can put that into a watch case. And now I can work on seeing if I can get this open. It feels loosey-goosey or something. I'm not sure what it is, but the watch movement hasn't been opened in 100 years, I suspect. So usually you can force the thing to rotate, but this might be a whole different case here. So I'm going to have to work on some method of opening up this watch. I think my friend Tim said he couldn't get it open either. So I might have to put some penetrating oil right in the crack there and see if that penetrating oil will assist in opening this watch. So that's what I have here for now. I don't know whether I can continue this video until I get this thing opened. So using the rubber ball technique on the top of the watch, I was able to loosen the bezel, and I think I might be able to open this watch up. So I'm just continuing to turn it here very carefully, and it's spinning out here, which is nice, and we have liftoff. There we go. So the watch bezel is now off, and there's one thing I can see for sure is that this is a swing over case. So I'm going to put my screwdriver in here. The first thing you need to do is make sure that this is out, and it is, because I pulled it out earlier. Right, so you take the crown and pull on it and the stem gets out of the way, and then this here should just lift up like so and out, and there's the movement, my friends. There is the watch movement. And I don't know whether the actual balance staff is good on this thing. Let's just move this a little bit. No, this looks like it has a broken balance staff because it's floating a bit here, as you can see. So that'll require a new balance staff. And the movement is in okay condition. I wouldn't say it's the cleanest watch. So the case itself is from the American Watch Company. If I just turn that around like that, you'll see nickel silver, American Waltham Watch Company. So that's the American Waltham Watch Company. And this is a nice little flip over movement. I actually like these movements. They're kind of cool. And I have to strip this watch down in order to get at servicing this here. So this was just an unboxing and having a look at it, and we'll be servicing this watch. So I should be able to get this thing running again now that I was able to get the front open. And when you close this watch, you just have to make sure that the stem is lined up with the hole. Just move that stem just a bit like that as you bring this down. That way you're not snapping anything. But for now, I just have to take this. I'm going to take this movement out of the watch itself, the case itself, and that way I can store it properly. This thing has been turned pretty hard. Let me see if I can focus that a bit better for you folks. There we go. And all I'm doing here is turning the case screws. And they haven't been turned in 300 years, so to get this movement out of the case. And move that case aside like that, and there's the movement. And it is now out of the case. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to store that and make sure we're ready to service. So let's zoom in on this watch and see what it says up here. So this says Regina watch of Swiss, 7 jewels adjusted to 2 positions. So I have a doubt that this is actually a Swiss-made watch, even though it says Regina Watch Company Swiss. I've seen these watches before in Canada, and I know that the jeweler is the one who cased the watch. And here we've got Regina, interesting, H. Downing, Moosomin, Saskatchewan. So I've found that Moosomin, Saskatchewan is a small town founded in 1882, 20 kilometers west of the provincial boundary between Saskatchewan and Manitoba. And I think it was the arrival of the Canadian Pacific Railway in 1882 that established Moosomin as the first Saskatchewan community on steel, known as Siding Number 4 and the Moosomin Station. And business began to establish, and by 1884 the community had grown to include 5 general stores, 5 hotels, 2 livery stables, 2 blacksmiths, a doctor, a lawyer, a butcher, 1 printer, among other businesses. And it was incorporated as a town in November 1887. R.D. McNaughton was the first merchant to arrive in Moosomin, and he founded the R.D. McNaughton Company, a general store that operated and played a vital role in this early settlement. So this is Moosomin, Saskatchewan. So I'm going to try to see if I can find this H. Downing individual. Well, guess what? On Etsy, I found another Regina H. Downing, Moosomin, Saskatchewan pocket watch. It looks exactly like the one I have, except it doesn't look as refined. It just says Regina on the bottom. It doesn't say Swiss or anything. And it doesn't look like it's a flip over case. Very interesting. Silveroid. So it is Silveroid. This one that I have here is coin silver. Well, there's a picture of Main Street looking north, Moosomin, Saskatchewan. So if you've never seen Moosomin, Saskatchewan, there's where the watch came from, and it looks like around the same time that watch was sold. A little bit of a historical reference to H. Downing, but seems to be something to do with the town and him being the sheriff as opposed to the jeweler. A little more information here. So the Regina watch was an Omega brand, and it was targeting the Canadian market primarily. So this is an Omega made watch. So it's an Omega Regina with the serial number. So I'd have to figure out what to look up to try to find more information about this particular watch movement. But it was not uncommon for the jeweler to be ordering these Regina watches, which were made by Omega from Switzerland, and then casing them and putting their own name on them. The H. Downing Moosomin, Saskatchewan name as an example. So again, Regina was trademarked by Omega in 1911. Alright, I've give up. I've looked for this H. Downing jeweler in Saskatchewan, and I've found zero. I found nothing. And I do know this is now a Regina watch company, which is an Omega watch. So, and it was trademarked by Omega. So it's an Omega watch. And I'm going to see if I can get this back in shape. It's going to take, I may have to make a balance staff for it, because it's probably a watch that's around 1911, 1900, somewhere in there. So there's likely no balance staff I can get for this old watch. So I may be able to make one. I should be able to make one and see if I can recover this thing, get it ticking again. So that's it. JD here. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and please hit like, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks a lot for watching.